Okay guys, so here is our worksheet for today. I'm going to go through two problems in these first couple of sections, and then we'll look at one of these examples and look at the back just at one of them. So here they're asking us in these first 6 problems to go ahead and name the parent function. So what we're looking at here is we want to find one of these, one of the functions we looked at in our notes and try to compare it and see what we could come up with. So here I'm seeing an x squared. Even though I've got this -1, the parent function of this graph, what we really have to do is kind of disregard this -1. Well, this parent function must be the quadratic, right? So we could say f of x equals x squared. That would be one way to answer. Or we could say that the parent function is, excuse me, not a g, is a quadratic. Let's go ahead and try number 2. I'm looking here and I see that I've got these coefficients, but I'm not worrying about them. I'm thinking, well, what do I have here? I have an x and it's inside absolute value bars. So this must be the parent function f of x equals the absolute value of x. Or again, we could write absolute value. Right, and that would be how we would answer these first questions, right? So we're just kind of disregarding those numbers, right? We're just looking, which does this function look like, just based on whatever variable you have. I actually, here on this next section, I don't want you to draw the basic graph of the parent function. Again, I just want you to name the parent function. So let's go ahead and do number 7 and number 8 together. Well, I'm going to disregard this -5, but I see I've got 1 over x, and we saw that that is the same as f of x equals 1 over x, or a rational function. If I look at number 8, I don't really care about that coefficient, but I see, oh, this is a square root of x function. F of x equals the square root of x, or I could just write square root. Okay, so that should get you through the entire top of this page till number 12. Now let's look at number 13 through 17. Here they want you to give an example of an equation represented by the following family of functions, and they don't want you to use any of the examples from number 1 through number 12. So please do not just write in one of these ones that's up on the top of the page. Let's do, how about a reciprocal function, because this is actually what we also call that rational function. And we will, how about we'll make a cubic. We'll do 15 and 16 together. So a cubic function, I know it needs to have x cubed as its leading term. So how about, maybe we'll give it -2 for leading coefficient, x cubed. I can add in any descending terms. Maybe I'll have plus 2x squared minus 1. There we go. There's a nice example of a cubic function. For a reciprocal function, it needs to take this form of 1 over x or something that's like that. So how about f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 3. There we go. There's a nice example of a reciprocal or rational function. So for these other 3, right, you're just looking for some example of an absolute value, square root, and quadratic function. Now turning over onto the back page, they just want you to name the parent function, right? And we have pictures from our graphs, right, or from our notes that showed all of these graphs. So, and I will post the PowerPoint notes if you'd like. or you can review back to the video, but I'll post a cheat sheet for these functions. But I see, oh, that first one is shaped like the cubic graph. So this is a cubic f of x equals x cubed. I hope you guys are doing well this week. If you have any questions, please email me.